We've got cooking a conversation with our friend Kevin Sjuts from 1011 News in Lincoln. What's going on, Kev?
Good morning. I'm sure you guys are enjoying all the conversation with an upgrade from Houston Christian this week.
Well, that's part of it, but I got to rewind for a second. I, because I love talking to you about volleyball, and it seems like the longer you and I talk to each other, and you're obviously a lot more experienced than I am, but shoot, man, like how many parts of these deals can we cover with volleyball where we talk about records and attendance? You're in the midst of it from the high school level, the middle school level. So you've seen this evolution for a long time, but I'm guessing zero surprises that an indoor attendance record was set last night.
None. I mean,
Yeah.
like big deal. Another record. Woohoo! Like no one's surprised. It's cool. It's fun. The challenge now is like, what's Wisconsin going to do? Like what venue are they going to try to play in, which can be in the range from 17,000 to 25,000. So it's not about like the following of the fan bases. It's more about like the venue size, because if you promote a volleyball match within a program that really loves volleyball, they're going to break the record. So Nebraska's got it back. It was previously Wisconsin Marquette, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kelly Sheffield is trying to scour all throughout, Wisconsin, Chicago, Minneapolis. Like, where can he go? How can he try to get over 17K?
Kevin, as you kind of watched the match last night, were you surprised? I was. Obviously, not a volleyball expert by any means. I was a little surprised by how much closer that match felt than I was expecting, and not just because of the records. I felt like watching Nebraska throughout the season, then Creighton, felt like there was a pretty clear difference between those two squads. And we were talking to some people over the last couple of days. I was surprised there was a path to Creighton either. I mean, they could have won last night. They make it to a fifth set, you could win. Were you surprised about how close that was?
Yeah, I think you're right on it, Ravi, too. And I think part of our brains kind of assume the gap in terms of the better team and the lesser of the teams. Though Creighton, I think, is really good.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
because the first set was 25-17. That kind of sets the standard of where the teams are. And I think that we all kind of, after watching set one and how efficient Nebraska was, it seemed at that point in time that Nebraska is a level higher than Creighton, but that's where you got to give Coach Rosen's team a lot of credit for just being gutsy, for staying in the fight, and being opportunistic, because set four, that thing could have gone a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel throughout all five sets, I just doubted. I thought Nebraska was going to win the whole time, and I think so much of that is, one, having watched that team through 8 matches prior, but then also the way that they won set one, because when they were dialed in, they were feeding off the crowd, that you just got the sense that when it became winning time, Nebraska was going to win the match.
So, Kevin, it's interesting because we watch, and I'm glad because I mean, it's got to be the best in all. Cue all the Nebraska jokes for the losing record, and they got to be the best 5-win team in the country or whatever we used to say. But for Creighton to be 5-5, it's incredible, right? You look at their schedule, and it has been an absolute gauntlet, and they are really good, in my opinion. And then I look at Nebraska's schedule, and I think, okay, 9-0, and am I superstitious? No. Do I think they can run the table where we're a long ways out? Like, when you're watching this team and how they have to win differently a lot of the times throughout these first 9 games, is that kind of like your saving grace, or do you not worry about chasing perfection en route to a long season? Like, almost like you need well, I hope they don't peak too early. Like, because you kind of know how it goes with this, right? Where we need some adversity, or we'd like a loss, or we talk ourselves into everything other than just believing in the team. Do you like the fact that they've had to win a few different ways and tap into a few different energy tanks, at least up to this point early in the season?
Yeah, Nebraska's been challenged with its schedule also. The thing that concerns me now, hopefully this statement kind of aligns with what you were saying there, DB, is they've mixed and matched this lineup and who's starting at libero and Campbell Flynn setting a match instead of Bergen Riley. Like it's all fun and games here in September, and it's cool, and it's keeping the storylines fresh. And if you're a ticket holder, you're showing up to the match and you don't even know who's going to be on the court.
Yeah, I know, right?
And there's something that's a little bit like if I'm a ticket holder and Andy Jackson has the night off, I'm maybe a little bit disappointed. But I'm also kind of excited because you never know who you're going to see. You might see Campbell Flynn running a 5-1, and there's something kind of fresh and cool about that. So it's keeping everyone on their toes. And I remember asking Dani before the season even started, with her loaded roster with 17 players, which is the largest roster Nebraska has ever carried, how does she keep everybody happy? And how do you establish a rhythm within the team? And I'm still not completely convinced that there might be a moment in mid-October, early November, in which it is winning time for Nebraska, and the players on the court maybe just don't have that familiarity with each other, or maybe don't have that confidence in each other because they haven't spent as much time on the court together as if they would have under John Cook, which basically rolled out the same lineup every single night.
Yeah.
Maybe Dani's going to prove me and a lot of other people wrong. And she has shared time and time again that if you watch their practices, and this is true, they throw players everywhere. You have freshmen with seniors and juniors with sophomores and starting pin hitters with the third defensive specialist. It's very unique. So she's tried to create all that in practice, but still nothing replicates, a Big Ten title on the line, set for 24-24. You need to score 2 points, and you got to trust the players on the court. I am still trying to make myself believe that it's all going to be okay, because it is just so unique. It's such a different experience from a reporter standpoint, from seeing this, and also from a fan standpoint, witnessing it and then experiencing it night in and night out.
Kevin, do you think the calculus that DBK is going through in her head with what you're talking about is kind of the chemistry and being able to trust each other versus each individual knowing they absolutely can come through when they need to?
That's beautiful. Because you know her so well.
Yeah, I just think Dani believes in what she believes in. And, if there's somebody who can't assimilate to her style of coaching and the way that she's going to do this, then she's not going to play you. But she wants to play you. See, that's the thing. It's a very unique situation.
That's awesome.
Say
that. Okay, that should be a T-shirt. Kevin, say that again, please.
I don't know specifically what I said, but the point is, if you can't do what Dani wants you to do in this environment, she will not play you. But she wants to play you because she's proven right now through 9 matches, she will play everybody unless you're redshirting. So there's 3 that haven't taken the court. And I think if you went back and you tracked everybody that Virginia Adriano has played with, I think it's everybody who's been on the court at some point this season outside of the people that play her spot. And that just is, it's so unique. It's so rare. But what I'm trying to get at here is that Dani wants to get everyone on the court. But if you're not okay with that, you can hang out on the sideline and cheer on your teammates.
See, I love, so that resonates with me, Kevin, because it keeps everybody engaged and jobs are made to be won and lost. So from the coach in me says, this is equal opportunity. It's up to you. And we're going to see that as we kind of transition into football. It's how Nebraska's bred competition up, in the secondary, along the D line, along the offensive line. Hey, listen, it's yours for the taking, but there are some prerequisites you got to meet too along the way. In essence, you're saying, let's see how nicely we can coexist with those two philosophies, right? Like, it's yours if you want it. It's not if you don't. And I think as a player, you got to love the opportunity that you feel a little bit in control of the outcome.
Yeah, but you're not in control of, the amount of playing time you're going to
Hey,
get.
I just throw me a carrot. Just tell me it's possible.
No, it is possible, and you're on it. I get what you're saying, DB, but here's the ultimate thing, though. You have to love the team in order for this to work. If you have a bunch of divas and prima donnas, this will not work. And, Dani didn't have a theme for the year at the very beginning. She said she was going to wait for it to just happen organically. And they've come up with something here this month, and that's that they're going to hang a banner and they're not worried about the All-American wall. And I think that's actually pretty awesome because that totally lines up with the way that she is coaching this team, specifically with how she's trying to get everybody on the court. So Bergen Riley, she's a two-time All-American. She's going to be an All-American again this year. Is she going to be a player of the year? Probably not. There was a match she did not even play, and if you look at the stats, it's tricky here now because if you look at Bergen Riley's stats on the season, you can't look at total assists because there have been times she has been on the bench for an entire set. There's been a match where she has been on the bench. So she, I think total assists across college volleyball, she's 30th, 35th, something like that. You have to look at assists per set. I think that's the better gauge. It's even challenging, us in the media to look at the numbers a little bit differently because it's not as simple as totals. You have to look at averages.
Suits, Mr. Kevin, you're really good at kind of these storylines. If Nebraska wins on Saturday and you had to prep and get some B-roll, a little pre-roll, get some footage, and they win, where are you starting to grab? Where what are you shooting? What's the future headline if Nebraska wins on Saturday and you're ready to just roll with your television package? What video have you captured?
Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to go back to, one of my favorite shots of the Mike Riley era. And it was
this ought to be good.
It was the Brandon Riley catch, no catch versus Michigan State. All right. And that was when Brandon had the touchdown catch, that was a moment and the place went crazy. And remember how he was jumping all across the field? That's what I'm doing. I've got my track shoes on and I'm trying to find, whoever made the biggest play of the game, and I'm running with them because, as coy as the team played it yesterday, I think there's a burning desire within each of those players to kind of shed the stigma that they can't win a big game they can't beat a ranked opponent. They have lost 26 consecutive games against ranked opponents, and the last win was the Oregon game under Riley with Tommy Armstrong Jr. at quarterback. So I'm looking for whoever had the pivotal play and just hopefully seeing the emotion from that player just totally spill out. Now, granted, I hope it's somebody like Sierra Wright, who's got a lot of personality, can probably yuck it up for the cameras. But I just think that the vibe, the environment, and then also just capturing, the student section and the fan. Maybe the bigger celebration is going to be in the stands because that air that has just existed over that program for the longest time about can't win a big game. Maybe it just, totally races into the clouds and goes away. And then this team and the fan base can just have a little bit of freedom and ability to just enjoy football rather than feel pressure anytime a team comes to Lincoln with a number by their name.
All right, if you're going to roll with highlights, right, and it's in Nebraska wins, is it defensive line highlights? Is it offensive line highlights? Is it the secondary? Is it special teams? Is it the skill guys? If Nebraska wins on Saturday, who do you think gets the first highlights?
I think it's going to be Emmett Johnson, because I think
Wow.
Dana Holgerson really wants to run the football. And I think that he's learned enough about the Big Ten that, you can't outsmart the Big Ten. You just got to out-Big Ten the Big Ten. And I think he's going to have a commitment to the run game, despite Michigan being pretty good defensively up front. But if Emmett has a big day between the tackles in space, I think it's going to bode good things for Nebraska. So I'm going to start with Emmett Johnson. I think he's having a great season so far. I think his body seems fresh, and he's stronger. He's lighter on his feet. That's where I'm going to start and end with Emmett.
That's Kevin Sjuts, 10-11 News in Lincoln. Kevin, appreciate the time. As always, enjoy the game this weekend.
All right. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Kevin.